It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Sounds like a plan to me.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis. Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You got to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Nice being joining us for another edition of the Tom Leykis Show. We appreciate it. With wide open telephones here, we can talk about anything that's on your mind. Anything goes. Anything at all. We can talk about anything we've discussed on the show recently. We can talk about anything you think we should have talked about. You can call up, yell, scream, complain, jump up and down. It's all fair game as long as you are absolutely fascinating. If you're not, we kick your ass the hell off the air. In fact, we don't let you on the air. Dean J. D'Amelio, our bouncer, will take his Louisville Slugger and just take a good, meaty swing at you, and that'll be it. Dean hangs up on about 98% of all the people who call in. All the wackos, weirdos, and winos. And Dean is there right now, very earnestly hanging up on as many people as he possibly can. So if you think your heart can take it, if you think you can hold the nation spellbound with your wit, your enthusiasm, your energy, or if you're so breathtakingly stupid that I can have my way with you, just dial this toll-free telephone number at 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. This is Renee on a cell phone. Renee, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, hi. What a pleasure to talk to you.
I agree.
I am a businesswoman and have an opportunity on my way home from work every night to listen to you. It sort of embraces the day and makes life that much more interesting. One issue that I would like to take with you is that, well, first let me say that I agree with you in one respect, and that is that I think that women have been conditioned to be rescued by men. I think that's how we've all been brought up, to think that somewhere along the way the good Savior will come and take us. Given that, I still don't understand why the B word is necessary when referring to women.
I only use it when I'm referring to a bitch.
Yes, and I understand, but why? Help me understand earlier when
Some women are bitches.
I'm sorry?
Some women are bitches.
Well, what does that mean? I'm not sure what that means for you when you say that.
We know what it means. These are women who are cranky, nasty, edgy, have an attitude. They act like they don't need men while they're taking child support. You know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about, but I think
And by the way, let me make it really clear. All women are not bitches. Just the ones who are. That's who we refer to as bitches.
Well, that's the reality. I mean, good-looking people are good-looking people, and ugly people obviously are ugly. But in terms of the B word, and I even have difficulty saying it myself.
Go on, stay with me, bitch.
No, I can say bitch. I don't have a problem.
There we go.
It's what I reference it to that I have a problem with, because I think by using the word bitch, you are, in a sense, enabling men to enhance this 101 that you proselytize.
Of course.
So
that's a good thing.
It's a good thing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that if it's an educational process that you're trying to get across to your listeners, and it's not a bad one.
And it's working.
It works. It probably does. I'm a little older, so I don't really fall into that category of learning a lesson at this point in my life. But nevertheless, if we're going to refer to people, can we not make the process more positive by allowing ourselves...
There's nothing positive about it. This is war. You know, women have what we want, and they don't want to give it to us.
What do you have that we want, other than maybe your money?
That's what we have. We have money, power, in some cases fame, but that's not necessary.
Right.
Women want to get what we have. Unfortunately, most men have been beaten up into believing that Women have what we want, but we don't have anything they want, and they're doing us a favor by having sex with us. It's war. Women do anything they can to hold back sex for as long as possible, trying to get stuff out of us. And most men aren't aware that that's how the game is played.
Do you think that men are that naive?
Yes. And it's, if you can't tell by the kinds of questions that come in on Leykis 101 how naive men are. Men have no idea. Men have given women all the power. And it's time to take their balls back. It's time to take the power back.
Okay, but how do they take that power back? Is it, and I do listen to you. I've been listening.
By withholding the things that women want from them.
And that is?
Money and the things that money can buy. Jewelry, flowers, dinner at expensive restaurants, champagne, lobster, you name it, withhold it.
But, Tom, do your listeners really have that kind of economic power?
Yes, they do, and it doesn't matter at what economic level they are. Because, for everybody who eats at the Four Seasons, there's 10 people who eat at the Red Lobster and have lobster. The bottom line is for every category, for every economic level, there are those who have and those who don't have. And the guys who have at even let's say there's a $35,000 a year level, and the guy, a nice night out for him be going to the Olive Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the kind of women he dates probably want him to pay for them to go to the Olive Garden.
Of course.
He should hold out.
He should hold out.
Not pay.
But what is he holding? What is he holding out for? And I get
to get laid.
But what is that? Is it that important?
To a man?
Yes. Help me.
Has it been that long for you, Renee? Come on.
No, it's not that long. I'm unhappily married.
All right. Yes, it's that important. Why do you think, restaurants would go out of business if it weren't for women holding back sex? Bars.
It's the meal that does it.
It's the meal. It's the drinks. It's the shoes. It's the handbags. It's the belts. It's the trips to the south of France. It is go down the list. It's the clothing. It's everything.
So it starts with the meal.
It starts with the drink. Yes, it starts with that. The fact is that the game is played thusly. Even if a woman just wants to force us into a relationship or force us into marriage, she will hold back sex in order to get what she wants.
But do women really force men into doing that?
They do it by withholding sex, and the man thinks there's nothing he can do about it.
But obviously you're teaching them another method.
I'm teaching them to use women's methods. We have something women want, and we withhold it from them.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get what we want without giving up anything.
Well, I don't argue the point. I guess I just argue. I don't argue the concept. I argue the delivery. And I think sometimes that the use of words or the way the message is conveyed, for me, certainly not for others, that maybe a better choice of words would be more appropriate.
No, the appropriate choice of words is the one that lets men know we're in a war. It's a war.
Is there truly war out there with men and women?
It is absolutely war. It is a war. Women wanting to get what they want, men not knowing what weapons to use to get what they want.
What they want.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I went through that process too many years ago.
That's my fault.
And it wasn't any different, Tom. It was very much the same. The only thing is, I think, the difference now is that there are a lot of women who are successful.
No, you know what the difference is today? Men don't care about women being successful. We don't care. In fact, it's a detriment. If you're successful, you're probably a bitch. No, what we're concerned about is there are women who do give it up and women who try to avoid giving it up for as long as possible. The trick for men is to use the women who give it up easily as a tool to get the other women into competition with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, what I did, and I will be honest with you, and I've got my girlfriend sitting right next to me here, and so this is not something she doesn't know about, okay? If I was ever with a woman who was going, I just don't feel like I know you. I just don't feel comfortable. You think I would go on 30 dates with the same woman hoping to talk her into it? Here's what I was telling women when I was, available all the time. Mm-hmm. Here's what I would tell them. I would say, well, that's okay if you don't want to give it up because there's... I know other women who'll do the heavy lifting while you think about it.
No, I hear what you're saying.
And that puts that woman immediately into a competition. And there's nothing women hate more than well, they love competition. They also hate it. The bottom line is women are very competitive with each other. The minute you tell a woman that, see, women get this idea. We take you out on a date, and we try to kiss you, and you pull away, and you say, "Well, you call me tomorrow." What usually happens is women think that we're going to go home and spank the old monkey and just sit there by ourselves, and some guys do. Anytime a woman turns a man down, what he should do is when he leaves, get on the cell phone and hook up with somebody else who's going to give it up to him right away, and then make sure the first woman knows he does that.
Sure. And I understand all of that, and that certainly makes sense. But the other question I have is that if indeed women do believe that they're playing this game, and there are a lot of women who call in and say, well, no, I'm not looking for a rich guy, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that they are in denial, or are they really not telling the truth?
Well, men make it too easy for them to be in denial, because most men I know go, no, I'm not dating anybody else right now, right, Dean? No, it's just you, honey. Just you. Oh, I broke up with my girlfriend, and I've kind of been on my own since then, and nothing's really happening. And guys say this all the time. It's a big lie. We're banging anything that moves, unless we're, like, clinically depressed or, stupid.
Yes.
And women are in denial by believing us when we say that. And the fact is, women would give it up a lot more easily if a man would say, are you kidding? I'm dating 6 different women right now.
No. Well,
and by the way, I can safely tell you I have never lost a booty call by telling a woman that I was dating other women. Never. In fact, those women tried harder.
I'm sure they did, of
yes.
course. And you're right about competitiveness. But if there's so much turmoil going on around us and in the world, I mean, how do we get this working? How do we get men and women to understand one another and to make some compromises?
You know what? I don't think that's really not something I know about. I know how to manipulate women into giving me what I want. And the fact is, most men have been manipulated into forking over cash or spending time or, going out. Yeah, and boys, you've done this, right? You go out with your the woman you're dating, and she wants to bring 3 of her friends, and then you have to buy drinks for all her friends, and you buy dinner for all of them, and you sit around listening to the rest of them talk for hour after hour, and then they just kind of dump you off, and you're home by yourself after all that.
Yes.
And I'm trying to tell guys how to avoid that stuff.
Well, and I think you're doing a good job, Tom. And
women who do that are bitches.
Yes. Okay. Well,
right.
I'll rest on that one.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that, Renee. Tom Leykis.
1-800-5800-TOM.
How does a woman know when a guy's looking for more than just tail? Like looking for more relationship.
Well,
there's a sign.
Sometimes he calls you before 11 p.m. That'll be one sign.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Leykis on Hot Rock 1080 KOTK.
Your show at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Mike on the cell phone. Mike, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, how are you, man?
Pretty good, Mike.
What's going on, man? I have a problem, and it's actually better than that lady just called. Maybe she needs to have her husband call her a bitch with her ass, and she'll understand what bitch means. I got a problem, and I wanted to, take care of it before it gets out of hand, bro. Me and my wife, we've been married for 4 years. It's been good. The sex was good at the beginning. And then we just went into a period of, a slow down, and I want to make love, I don't want to F, that type of deal.
Oh, boy.
So, we actually, she recommended let's go to a sex therapist, because we were kind of having a bad time. And we went, and, they helped us a lot, and I've been enjoying it. And
yeah, but have you had to give in and...
No, it's not about giving in because I really love her. She's a really great woman, and she takes care of me, and she's great looking. And after one, we just had a kid about a year ago, and lost all the weight. I can't complain. And all of a sudden last night, she decides that she wants to start, having I want to make love. I don't want to do that anymore. So I just shut down. I'm like, oh my God. Here we go again.
Yeah, what does that mean exactly? Maybe there's a woman out there who can explain what that means.
I don't know.
What does that mean? I mean, she's been effing you for a year. You've been having a good time. Everything's...
We've both been having a good time, so I don't understand how, what is it coming off from? I want to know. I want to understand why is she just put me out like that again?
All right. Well, you know what? In the course of this hour, maybe there are some women out there who can answer that question for you. Because I don't know the answer to that question. The fact is that it seems to me when women say that, they're trying to cut down the amount of sex they're having with you. That's what it seems to me.
Yeah.
Because she's been having sex with you and was supposedly happy. And was she happy or was she just faking it?
No, she's been happy. We've been watching videos together. We've been doing everything we were supposed to be doing. And all of a sudden, she just stops. And she's doing this again. Well, she said, I'm suggesting it. I just want to make love sometimes. I don't want the roughness. I don't want this. And I'm like, oh, man, what the?
Like it came out of nowhere, right? Like she was not...
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Maybe I wanted to know why.
Yeah.
See if you had any comments, any ideas.
Well, that's the thing. That's my opinion. My opinion is that if you've been having a good sex life and you've been, it's been going well and she's happy and you're happy, or at least it seems that way, and then she had a baby, it sounds to me like what she wants to do is slow things down.
Okay.
Have it less often.
She wants to have another baby and she hasn't told me about it, or I don't know.
And we could call your wife and ask her.
No, she's still at work right now, and she's very busy. She won't be able to take the call.
Did you ask her what that means?
I could. I tried yesterday, but a fight started, so I'm just like, man, I don't know, maybe I'll just call Tom tomorrow.
Well, before you start another fight, let's see if there are any women out there. During the course, it's open phones, you can call about anything, but there might be, maybe there's a woman out there who knows what this is about. Now, you're happy otherwise, right? You're not fighting about other stuff?
There's no problem, man. She's a great-looking woman.
Right.
I got a nice family. I can't complain. I really can't. I'm probably one of those callers that cannot complain about his wife at all.
Right.
So, except with this, she just dropped the bomb on me yesterday. So.
Now, what were you trying to do to her at the time she stopped you?
No, it was just normally nothing. Basically, it was actually after it ended. After it was.
So you'd already had sex. And what was the sex like?
Oh, yeah. Awesome. It's like
no, but what was it? How was it? What were you doing? Did you just pin her down and F her hard? What happened?
Yeah, just basically, and the way she'd been liking it for the past year, pinning her down, and we finished, and that was it. And basically got up and went to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I came back to the bedroom, and here she goes, going off about this.
But she had been perfectly happy until that first time a year ago, or whatever it was, before you went to the therapist.
Yeah, and she was perfectly happy, and I wanted to experience more, and I wanted, I was curious, and that's why, I was just like, hey, we've been having problems, we need to go to a therapist, because I really don't want to have any problems with her, because I love her, I really don't complain about her at all. So before a bigger problem even started, before I started losing interest in her, I recommended this. So, and it's been one of the greatest things I've done.
All right, let's see if there are some women out there who understand your plight.
Okay.
And who can explain to us what she might be trying to say here.
All right.
All right?
All right, no problem.
Stay tuned, Mike. We'll find out what we can find out here. Who knows? Is there anyone out there who understands what Mike is talking about? They were having a perfectly good sex life, and suddenly, after all this time, she says, I don't just want to have sex, I want to make love. What the hell does that mean?
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis. Oh.
This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. Christine on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Great.
I just wanted to piggyback on what that guy was saying about Baltimore. It is just a horrible town, and if he thinks the women are bad, the men are just as bad.
What does that mean?
Well, they're just either a bunch of IT nerds or they're 30-some years old being supported by their parents still.
Well, dear, I see on the screen here you're 28 years old. Could it be that one of the reasons you have a hard time meeting decent men is because you waited too long?
No, I just have high expectations, which I think most people should have.
I think people should have reasonable expectations based on what they have to offer.
True.
Are you a 10 or a 9?
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely a 9, yeah.
A 9. Is that a Baltimore 9 or an L.A. 9?
Well, I've never been to L.A., but...
Come on, you've seen Baywatch, dear. A Baltimore 9 or an L.A. 9?
I'm not a Baywatch girl.
All right.
I'm a Baltimore 9.
You're a Baltimore 9, which is more of a 7.
I don't know, however you rank it.
Right. But also, you were getting up there. 28 is getting a little late. The statistics say that every year you wait after age 25, the odds of you getting married go down.
Well, I've been close to getting married, but, you know...
Almost, you know what they used to say when I was a kid? Almost doesn't count except in horseshoes.
Perhaps I'm just not ready, but, you know, meeting people is hard. You know, meeting decent people, decent men. And my biggest problem is...
It's not hard if you're beautiful.
I don't think the problem is me. I just think, like, my...
Oh, well, nobody likes to think the problem is themselves, though.
Well, I just think my expectations are a bit higher than...
What do you expect to get? By the way, do me a favor, turn the radio off, because it's confusing you and me.
What do I expect to get?
Yeah.
Well, I expect someone that is intelligent, someone that is, you know, that can support themselves. That a lot of the men that I meet are very spoiled. I think my generation of men have been pampered a lot by their parents. In the particular area that I come from, most men are like that. You know, it's just hard to find a decent man.
So many men, there's so many men in the age group you're looking at grew up with single mothers.
True.
Or 2 career households. Who is pampering them? How many rich single mothers do you know?
I wouldn't say that most of these people come from single home families. I wouldn't.
So most of the men you're meeting come from 2-parent families.
Yes.
And you know that for a fact.
Most of the men that I have met, yes.
Most of the men you've met.
Yeah.
And when you say they've been pampered, what is the problem?
They're just spoiled, you know.
In what way?
You know, like my last boyfriend. I think he's like 31 now. His mother still does his laundry, does the grocery shopping. I mean, and he seems to think that's okay. And his thing is, well, my parents love me. Well, I just find that a little bit odd. You know, I mean. You know,
in other countries, it's not odd at all. In other countries, it's the norm. People live at home until they get married.
Right, but we're not in another country. That is. I
understand. I'm just pointing out to you.
I'm aware of that, but I just think I think it's very odd. I mean, don't you?
Do I think it's odd? Yes. You know what? I think it's odd, but I don't think it's odd enough that you would just say, well, I could never marry you because you live with your mother. Now, but I will tell you this, darling. I hear the radio creeping up again. You've got to turn it off.
Okay, so what did you just say again?
Yeah, turn the radio off. That's what I said. And leave it off. And whoever's sitting next to you, tell them to leave it off.
All right.
All right? Because we won't be able to have this conversation if the radio is on.
Okay.
All right. What I'm trying to tell you is, I don't think that's enough of a reason not to marry somebody. But what I will tell you is this. A guy raised by his mother is going to expect you to do the laundry and the housework and make his dinner.
Well, I don't have a problem with you know, doing things like that for the right person. I think every relationship is give and take, and I certainly, I don't have a problem with that. You know, cooking dinner, taking care of the house, right. Whatever. But you know. So
why didn't it work with your last boyfriend?
Why didn't it work?
Right.
There's like numerous reasons.
Well, I'm listening.
I don't know. He just has some. I think he has issues. You know.
What issues? That he lives with his mother?
No, he doesn't live with. Well, he has a lot of issues. I really would rather not go into it.
We don't know his name. Just tell us, what was the problem? I'm just trying to get an illustration of what all these problems are with men.
Okay, well, his problem. Okay, it started with pornography on the computer, which I had found. Which, hey, that's no big deal. I know guys are into that.
What were you doing snooping around his computer?
Well, I was using his computer one day.
Yeah, and you decided to look for pornography?
No.
And a naked picture of a chick popped up on the screen unexpectedly? No, you were looking for.
No, I wasn't. This is what happened. I was doing some work, and I went to put in a floppy disk.
Right.
And when I went to do that, there was a floppy disk in there.
Right. And so you popped it right out and didn't bother to look at what was on the disk, right?
Listen to me. I popped it out, and it said Heather. And this is his ex-girlfriend. of course, I popped it back in, and it was 2 naked pictures of her, which I just, I think that's a little odd. And
what's odd about that?
Because if you have a girlfriend, if you're in a relationship, what are you doing looking at pictures?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Christine. Do you have any old memorabilia from boyfriends of the past? Cards, letters, notes?
Yeah, that's okay.
Pictures? That's okay. So that's okay. But
No,
pornographic
okay.
pictures are not okay.
Well, what if it were me? What if he had found naked pictures of my ex that I had been recently looking at? Or what if it was Tom? What if it was your girlfriend?
Well, guess what? You know what?
Okay with that?
Can I tell you something? I am equally offended, if not more offended, by seeing old memorabilia of boyfriends, love letters, notes, cards,
and I understand
pictures of the two of you skiing, whatever. I don't want to see that, and yet I have found this stuff in past relationships. I have seen this stuff, and you know what? It offends me just as much, if not more, because it's one thing to be turned on looking at a naked picture of somebody. It's another to have emotional feelings about people who supposedly are out of your life.
I agree 100%.
But you keep all that stuff, and yet you complain about what he keeps.
No. You're totally you're taking it the wrong way. If I was in a relationship and I had old letters or whatever, which I do, which I think most people do.
Why you do, I still don't understand why you do, but go ahead.
Right. Well, listen, and let's say I'm in a relationship and my boyfriend is not comfortable with that.
Right.
My respect for him, if he was uncomfortable with that, I would do the right thing and I would get rid of it. Because his love and his respect means much more to me than, past relationships.
So why do you need to wait for him to tell you? Why do you need that stuff?
I don't need it. It's not like...
Then why is it there?
That really wasn't the issue. But you asked me what happened.
It is, but dear, you say it's not the issue. But I say it's part of the issue because you have a double standard. Because you have a double standard. Because if he's looking at pictures of his ex, why doesn't he have a right to do that? You keep all this memorabilia, this little museum, this little shrine to all the men who found you attractive over the years. Of course you do. You've got letters, cards, pictures of guys of the past. Why do you need any of that?
For you to compare that...
If he was the man of your dreams, why would you need to look at that other stuff?
Who says I was looking at it?
Why do you need to have it? Then if you weren't looking at it, why do you need to have it?
I don't need to have it.
Then throw it away today. What are you waiting for?
Through the years, you keep things.
Why?
Because you have memories of people in your life.
But the point is, you are divided between the memories of them and the reality of the present. Why do you need to divide your loyalties? And there, you see, fact is...
I understand that, Tom, but listen...
All right, let's accept the idea that you insist on keeping this stuff. Well, he wanted to see naked pictures of Heather, and that reminded him of the past.
For you to compare the two...
They are the same.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Women are not into pornography like men are. Women are not into looking at naked pictures the way men are. That's the way men remember women. Who was a great lay? Who wasn't? Who was hot? Who wasn't?
Exactly.
Who had great breasts? And the way women remember is who wrote a nice love note? Who wrote a nice card? Who wrote poetry? And then you save that stuff.
But I'm not, looking at it. You know what I mean?
But if you're not looking at it, why take up space with it? Because one day you do plan to look at it. Maybe one day every year, or one day every month, or one day every 6 weeks you look at it. Otherwise, you'd throw it away.
That's not true. And you know
then why keep it?
If it came down to it, I would throw it away. You know what I mean?
Wait, why does it have to come down to anything? Why do you need that stuff?
But it's never been an issue.
Yeah, it is an issue. You know what? Even the men who say, I don't care, or they don't notice it, it is an issue. These guys don't have the balls to tell you, you know what? We hate that.
Right,
if you want us to take you seriously, one indication that you take us seriously is you don't find it necessary to have warm and fuzzy feelings about stuff that happened before us.
Well, let me just say this. He had a collection of letters, pictures,
Again, I'm sure he does, and 2 naked pictures of Heather and that rockin', smoking body that she had, and she was better looking than you, and that's why he was looking at those. Oh, come on.
This girl was like, no, I'm sorry.
Why was he looking?
She was not better looking.
She wasn't. Well, maybe she did things in bed you wouldn't do, and the looking at her naked reminded him of that.
I can't even begin to...
I mean, what is it that you did that made him want to look at naked pictures of his ex?
I don't know, but
maybe nothing.
For you to put that on me and say it's something wrong with me.
It could very well be. I mean, my God, obviously he was not satisfied.
It could be. You know what? You're absolutely right. It could be something with me. However, if you would have let me finish.
See, you want to blame everything on everybody else, and the fact is you do play a part here.
No, I don't. But let me ask you this. After finding those pictures of her, I found more, and there were pictures of, like...
So then you did go snooping.
No. Just listen.
How'd you find them?
It gets really weird, Tom, all right? Yeah, after that, you're damn right I went snooping. Yeah, I did. Who wouldn't? So
now look how it ended up. You dumped him, and now you're that much older and still not married, and your odds of getting married keep getting narrower and narrower as you continue with your perfectionist way.
I was actually going to marry this person, okay?
Yeah.
And until I found, like, other floppy disks with, on it, say, Aunt so-and-so. Like, and when I put the disk in, this person was like a twin. It looked like his aunt, but it was not his aunt. And I had also found that he was, like, visiting all of these really, well, I know some men have different things that turn them on. He was visiting websites for heavier women, like those TV, big, beautiful women websites. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
So he's a chubby chaser. Are you chunky?
No, I am not. And that is what was very odd, and I confronted him with it, and I'm like, look, you know, whatever you're into, that's fine. I loved him anyway. I was like, look, you know, I love you, and, you know, what can I do to and he's like, it's not you, it's just, you know, something that I like, you know, which was, I was okay with it. Yeah, it bothered me. I found it a little weird, but to say that there's something wrong with doing that would be wrong. Do you understand? Because I know there's different things that turn different men on.
That's right.
It just stemmed from there, and you asked me what his issues were. I think the major thing that really freaked me out was when I found the disc that said Aunt so-and-so. And I just think that's weird, okay? And I think, I mean, by all means, this guy seemed like such a normal person, and he just wasn't. And I was going to marry him. You know, we had gone and picked out rings, and it just turned out that he was just amazing. And
the reason you didn't marry him was because he labeled a disc with his aunt's name, and it was really another chick who looked like his aunt who was naked.
It was like an old chick, okay? And then I had found more.
Oh, old chick.
Really, old granny pictures. It was just really messed up.
Can I tell you something? We sat here, and I'm going to tell you, Christine, because we sat here one day looking at a news group online of senior citizens' naked pictures. We sat here. It was disgusting. But we all sat around doing it. All guys do this.
1-800-5800-TOM.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Wide open telephones. It's Mike on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello?
Is that a question or a statement?
Okay, I have a statement. At my work, I work as security. I'm not allowed to listen to your show because people, they get offended by your show.
Offended? Who told you can't listen?
My boss, he got complained that all the security guards are listening to your show, and they say that any further person that's listening to your show will be right up or fired.
Really?
Yeah.
What if you're wearing headphones or an earpiece or something?
We're not allowed to do that because we're security.
Yeah, well, that's never stopped anyone before, has it?
Yeah, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's all because last year, I think so that's me that did it. Last year we were talking about like girls wearing tongs.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to that, and then you say like, how could girls could wear that? The younger one.
Yeah.
And next week I hear that we're not allowed to.
So that was what put them over the top. The show where I talked about women wearing thongs.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I know.
And do you know which women complained? Did you ever find out?
No, they didn't. They don't want to. They like me, so they didn't say who did it.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if I were you, I'd get another job.
Oh man, it's a cool job though.
You can't listen to your favorite show. What do you have to listen to now? Kukui, what are you listening to in the afternoon now?
Okay, now I work the morning shift, so I don't work the afternoon, so now I can listen to you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
All right, blow me up.
Here you go, Mike. You know, if the broads object to the show, let them all work in the afternoon, and let all the guys work in the morning so they can be free to listen in the afternoon, if that's the way it's got to be. But this idea of the broads coming in and taking control and saying you can't listen to this show, it's outrageous. Outrageous.
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Can I tell you a joke?
Okay.
What's the best part about a Hummer?
I don't know.
10 to 15 minutes of silence, buddy.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis.
Send us an email. Our email address is my name. It's tom@blowmeuptom.com. tom@blowmeuptom.com. Or call our comment line. The number 310-842-9592. That's 310-842-9592.